In 1958, a man by the name of Ross Bagdasarian, also known as Dave Seville, had the brilliant idea to pitch up his voice to sound more like a chipmunk. This idea resulted in 2 #1 singles, 5 Grammy Awards, and 3 platinum albums by the end of 2007. While the overwhelming success of such a seemingly simple idea must have been surprising, there's no way that Bagdasarian could have predicted what his creation would directly inspire decades after his death. This is how Alvin and the Chipmunks invented Hyperpop. Hey, before you continue watching, make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. I noticed that only 4 of you are subscribed, and that is not mathematically correct. So please hit that button, and also make sure to buy the album that I made on Bandcamp when I was 14. Link in the D-box down below. You already know what it is. While Dave Seville wasn't the first to program technology to increase the hertz in human speech frequency, he was certainly the first to make it mainstream. Increasing the pitch and speed of a song is enough to give it an entirely different tone from its original creation. Just look at what happens when I increase the speed of Kanye West's Barry Bonds.
They say going crazy, and we seen this before.
But I'm doing pretty good as far as geniuses go, and I'm doing pretty good in my pink polo.
People would do this to their vinyl records by playing 12-inch LPs meant to be heard at 33 1/3 rotations per minute at 45 RPM. Which was designed for 7-inch singles. Begonian's vision, however, was much bigger than simply speeding up already existing songs, as his drawings of chipmunks sprawled throughout the packaging gave people characters that they could cling on to and imagine were performing the songs. By 1983, those dreams became a reality, as the Alvin and the Chipmunks animated series was now in full swing.
There's got to be something interesting to bring to class for show and tell. We could show my apple.
This very same idea of sped up songs by imaginary performers would extend to future generations with access to the internet, in the form of an entire subculture known simply as Nightcore. If you look up almost any song from the past decade and a half on YouTube and type Nightcore next to it, the odds are you'll find thumbnails with sexy anime women over music that's faster and higher pitched than you ever thought possible. Nightcore owes its entire existence to a Norwegian duo who created higher pitched versions of Eurodance music in the early 2000s. In a rare interview with member Thomas S. Nilsson, he stated that hearing the Chipmunk Punk album as a kid awoke something inside of him. Those high-pitched vocals from Alvin, Simon, and Theodore made him feel something that he never had before, and he spent the rest of his life trying to pass on to others what that album did for him. Nightcore clearly resonated with a lot of people, as scrolling through the comments of any Nightcore song on YouTube shows hundreds of messages from people saying their childhood was shaped by the genre. When an entire generation of children grows up with new technology, the art that they create will inevitably be shaped by it. Enter a new musical genre called Hyperpop. Hyperpop is what happens when 8-year-old kids sneak onto their parents' desktops while they're away at work, and then grow up with access to the internet. This genre incorporates the aesthetics of Nightcore, YouTube Poops, and of course Alvin and the Chipmunks, and gives them a new coat of paint. Just listen to this track from Skeleton Prince. As you can tell, those high-pitched vocal harmonies and danceable groove are remarkably similar to the ones found in the classic Chipmunks track, The Alvin Twist. In 2013, a musical collective known as PC Music paved the way for a more bubbly and online sound than any other music that has ever been released. However, it wouldn't be until 2019 that the term hyperpop would become so popular. A music streaming service called Spotify created a playlist titled Hyperpop that contained songs by artists such as Dorian Electra, Slater, and my personal favorite, Bean Boy. The one thing that all of these songs had in common is that the vocals didn't sound 100% like the artist's actual voice, something that up to this point was virtually unheard of in music by everyone, with the one exception being
ALVIN and the CHIPMUNKS.
Not to mention, people were listening to these songs on Spotify, the same platform where you can stream the Chipmunks' latest album, YOLO, which was ranked at number 5 on Pitchfork's Top 5 Hyperpop Albums of 2019. Judging from the popularity of artists such as Charlie XCX and 100 gecs, it looks like hyperpop is gonna be here to stay for a while. Maybe someday one of these artists will pay respect to the great Dave Seville by having an Alvin and the Chipmunks feature on one of their tracks. Thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe. Next time, we'll talk about how Crazy Frog invented animated music videos and why Led Zeppelin are the most original band in the world.
My baby's sticky and disgusting, but I love it, keep it coming. Why you front? You could make 1,000,000 chips if you keep bluffing. Oh.
And then grow up with access to